Good afternoon everybody. Today's video is about C interview questions. The very basic question is about to print hello without using a semicolon in C program. Normally the normal C program for printing hello statement is something like this, where we will be having the header file standard input output.h header file, which is having the library functions for standard input output functions like printf, and printf statement is used to print what are the text we mention inside the double quotations. But if you are doing this procedure, this statement is having a semicolon, as C language demands a semicolon as end of the statement. But the question is to print hello without using semicolon, and this can be performed using different ways. Some of them are using a if statement, another one is using a switch statement, or you can use a loop, or we can use a macro, etc. There are n number of ways to do that. Now I will show you how to do that one using online C compiler editor. Now this is the basic C program to print hello statement. Now I am going to execute this statement. Here simply I am having the standard input output header file. In the main function I used printf statement, and which is having a semicolon at the end, and I am running this program, and this is our output hello. But the question is not to use a semicolon. So for that, initially I am going to use an if condition. So within this if condition, I am going to write this printf statement. If condition always needs a set of braces in which we are going to write the statements which should be executed when the condition is true. So now I am going to execute this program. See, we could able to see hello here. So I have not used a semicolon, but still I could able to print hello statement as an output. So this is one way of using if statement. Similarly, I am going to use a switch statement. Again I am trying to run the same program, only change I did was switch. See, we could able to get the same output hello, and again I have not used a semicolon here. The other method is we can also use a looping constructor. Here I am using while I am using, again I am trying to run this program. Yes, it is working, but how many times, that is different. And now again I am trying to do the same thing using if, but this time I am going to define a macro whose name is print, and what it is doing is simply executing the statement printf. And now instead of writing printf here, I am calling the print macro inside the if condition. Again I am trying to run the program. see the output is hello. So similar way we can also execute programs. So how these conditions are working, that we will see. Now say this one, how the trick is working. We can simply write the text by using the line printf hello and semicolon in the main function. But the condition is not to use a semicolon at the end of the line. So to avoid this semicolon, what we are trying to do is using that printf statement inside the if condition. What happens when you are using inside the if condition is the printf statement will return the length of the text which you have written inside the printf. In our case, hello, H-E-L-L-O is 5 characters. So printf is returning 5 as the result. So 5 is a non-zero value, and if non-zero means if true, it is going to execute the block of statements. Within the block we have not written anything, so it's simply printing the text hello on the output screen. Now the next question is to read a paragraph using the scanf statement in C language. In this, scanf can be used like in this declaring a variable which is a character array. Here I would like to mention an array is collection of same data type elements. Here I am taking 100 elements, all are of character data type, and all those elements can be named para. So we are trying to read the para using this scanf statement. Normally a character array is called as a string, and in C we can read the strings using %s symbol. The problem with %s symbol is that it will read the data only up to the first space. After that it won't accept the characters. Here when you are trying to read a paragraph, it contains spaces, it also contains next line characters sometimes. So we need to accept all those things, and then we have to run the program so that it can accept all the paragraph. For that we are using a trick, something like that. I am going to show you here. In the C compiler we are going to write it. Not going to use any of these statements. What I am trying to do is I am going to declare a variable called para with 100 characters that it can accept. After that I am asking the user to enter text. Maximum 99 characters. So it will accept up to 99 characters. Now we are going to use a scanf statement. Usually we can use %s for reading any paragraph. So here I am showing that normal method. Apart from that, we are also going to see how we can do it to read a paragraph including spaces. Now say it is asking to enter a text up to 99 characters. Now I am trying to give hello, sorry, hello friends, and now I am going to press enter key. Now you see what will be the output. I have not written any output statement, so we cannot see here. Now I am going to include the statement printf, and I am going to print the paragraph you entered is %s, comma, para. Now let me check this. Here it is asking to enter a paragraph. Again I am typing hello friends and then press enter. So the paragraph you entered is hello. That means here I have given first space, so it is not accepting after the first space. That is the problem with %s. Now to avoid that, what I am going to do is I am going to use a special character which is nothing but tab key. Tab key can be written using a backspace characters /p, and also I am going to include the caret symbol which says that except the tab key we can accept any character. That is the meaning of this particular statement. So this scanf statement is going to accept all the characters up to 99 characters except the tab. When you press the tab key, automatically it will stop accepting the characters. Now let us check this program. Hello friends, this is my paragraph without using a tab space. Now I am pressing tab. Now I accepted tab and I am pressing enter. Now you see the paragraph you entered is hello friends, this is my paragraph without using a tab space. So once I press the tab space, it is not going to accept any more characters. This is the meaning of this particular scanf statement. It will include even the new line characters in our program. It will accept the new line characters in the program. Now the next question is, the basic drawback in the previous program is you cannot mention how many characters you are going to read. So paragraph size cannot be estimated at the compile time. So it may lead to buffer overflows, and that can be avoided using %l. After that you can give how many number of characters you want to read, so that you can give the size of the paragraph in our code. So next one is to calculate the distance between 2 points, and we know that we can calculate the distance like there are 2 points, one is here and another one is here, and this one we will call it as x1 and y1, and this point is called as x2 and y2. When we want to calculate the distance between these 2 points, we can have this formula: square root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. In this particular formula, when we are going to implement it using a C program, we are going to use sqrt, a function which is available in math.h header file. So that sqrt function will return a double value. So I can able to take x1, y1, x2, y2 values are as double values or floating point values. Now let us see the program. Again I am going into C compiler. There I am going to write my code. Now see, here I am using two header files, one for standard input output functions and another one for mathematical functions. Here the mathematical function that I am using is sqrt, which is a square root of a number. So here I am taking floating variables x1, y1, x2, y2, which are 2 points of the given plane, and distance is a variable which is going to calculate the distance between x1, y1 and x2, y2. Now we are going to read x1 value, y1 value, x2 value and y2 value. We are going to calculate the distance as x2 minus x1 whole square can be written as x2 minus x1 into x2 minus x1 plus y2 minus y1 whole square is written as y2 minus y1 into y2 minus y1. Now after calculating this one, we have to calculate square root of this distance. So we are directly using the square root function inside the printf statement while displaying the output. Because sqrt function will give us a floating point or double values, here I am using %.4f, which means after point I need only 2 characters. Total 4 values are possible. Now let me check this program, run this program. I am giving the values 25 as x1 and 15 as y1, 45 and 32 are as x2 and y2. Now I am going to run the program. So the distance is 26.2488 kilometers. Now the next question is to find out the distance travelled by a vehicle at regular intervals. To calculate this one, we have a formula in mathematics saying that distance equals to ut plus half at square. Here u means the initial velocity, which is given in minutes per second, meters per second, and a is the acceleration, which is given as meters per second square, and t is the time given. And for this, what we are going to do is, first we will read how many time intervals you want to take to find out the vehicle traveling distance. Now we will use a variable called counter or I, which is from 1 to the number of time intervals times it will execute, and within that loop we are going to read the time, initial velocity and also the acceleration of the vehicle. After that we are going to calculate the distance using the formula ut plus half at square, and finally after the loop completion we are going to print the distance travelled by the vehicle for the number of given intervals. Now see the program inside the compiler. This is the program. Here also I am taking two header files, one for standard input output functions like scanf and printer, and another one is for mathematical function math.h. Here I am using a pow function for this distance calculations. So here in the main program we are declaring the integer variables. One is time interval, another one is time taken, and another one for iterating the loop for number of time intervals. The next one which we are using here is initial velocity u and acceleration a and the distance. All the three I have taken in float data type. Now initially I am going to read the time interval. How many number of times you want to calculate the distance travelled by the vehicle. So after reading that particular variable, we are going to use a for loop. In this for loop we are using a counter called I, and it will start from 1 to up to time interval times it is going to execute these steps. So inside this we are going to read the time, initial velocity and acceleration, and how we are calculating the distance based on the formula. Distance equals to distance plus ut plus half at square. So here I am using pow function because a into t to the power of 2 I want to write. For that, in C we are having a function called pow which is available in math.h, and here to the power is written as 2. At comma 2 which is written inside pow function. So after calculating all these distances for n number of intervals, it is going to display that data in the printf statement. Now I am going to run this program. Let us see how it will work. So it is asking for how many number of time intervals. For the time being I am taking 4. So for the first time, how many seconds? Say 2 seconds. Initial velocity, acceleration, and the second time interval it is asking 4 seconds I am taking. Again it is asking for initial velocity. Again it is asking for acceleration. Again for the third interval it is asking the time slot. I am taking for 5 seconds. Again initial velocity I am taking as 35, and then acceleration 60, and fourth one again for fourth iteration it is asking the time interval. So I am taking it as 6 seconds. How many meters? Say 50 meters. Acceleration is 78 I am taking. Now see, it has printed the distance travelled by the vehicle for the given time interval. So this is how we can calculate by simply implementing the formulas in a C program. Now the last one in this video is what is the difference between a break and a continue. These two terms belongs to unconditional control statements in C language. Unconditional control statements means you can jump from one statement to another statement in the program without using any condition. That type of statements are called as unconditional control statements. In unconditional control statements, there are three types of statements. One is break, another one is continue, and then third one is go to. For the time being, in this video I am going to explain only break and continue statements. Break, as the name suggests, it will break the execution of the current executing loop once and forever, whereas continue will only skip the present execution of the loop and it will go to the next iteration for the new loop, iteration. So it is known that loops may have its own termination conditions, but sometimes we want to come out of the loop before or whenever we have achieved our goal, or sometimes we want to stop executing a particular set of statements and we want to execute the remaining set of statements. In that case we can use a continue statement. Now in case of continue, sometimes it is possible that we need to skip some statements to get executed but don't want to break the loop. So this break as well as continue statements both can be used within the loop or without the loop. That is like you can use it in the if statement or switch statement, something like that. When you are using either break or continue, obviously you are going to save a lot of execution time. So as per the requirement of the program, we can use these two keywords in our program for better execution time of the code. So now let us see how this break and continue will work through a program. Now let us suppose I am writing something like this. I just want to print 1 to 10 numbers and I want to break the loop when I value reaches 4. So for that I am writing void main. I am taking a counter I, index number as I, and I am using a loop. For loop I am using here for the particular program. For I equals to 1, I less than or equals to 10 means 10 times I want to repeat this loop and 10 numbers I want to write and I plus plus. Now I am going to show you how this for loop will execute. So inside this for loop I am writing only printf statement and I would like to display the value of I. Value of I after each iteration. Now let me run this program. Check this. So this program is simply printing all the values from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, 9, 10. So this is how it is working. Inside this for loop I am going to use one more condition with if. If I reaches to 4, that means I is equals to 4, I just want to break the statement. Now let me run the same program. What will be the output? We will check it here. See, this time it is printing only 1, 2 and 3. It is not printing up to 10. It is printing only up to 3. So here the break statement works. Break statement main intention is to stop the execution of the loop once the condition is reached. There is no need to use any condition. You can simply say break. If I remove this if condition, let me check how it works. See, there is no output because inside the loop immediately I have used a break statement. If I am using an if condition and then I am using break statement, only up to that particular number the iterations are executing and it will show the output. This time I am checking up to 5. So it is showing 1, 2, 3, 4. Now instead of break statement I would like to use continue in the same program. The intention of continue is to skip this particular execution and go to the next iteration, so that it will not print when I is equals to 5. Other than that it will print all the numbers. So let me check that one. See, here it is printing 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. That means 5 is skipped. Again 7, 8, 9 and 10. It is continuously the repeated entire loop. So this is the difference between break and continue. This is all for today's video. Hope you have understood everything. Thank you.